Uncharted Territories welcomes you. Ready yourself for the rethinking and the reimagining of everything.
You're about to experience two AI voices from Notebook LM, acting as if they were human, in pursuit of unveiling the unknown.
You know, it's funny. We humans, we see like ourselves everywhere. Like we give our cars names and we we imagine faces in clouds.
Oh yeah.
And we even like talk to our plants like they're our friends.
Yeah.
But this deep dive that you've requested takes that to a whole new level.
Right.
We're going to try to explore why we're so fixated on making AI human-like. And you've given us some really interesting sources to work with. We have philosophical essays, we have technical analysis, and even some insights generated by AI itself.
Yeah. It's pretty fascinating how this topic goes way beyond technology.
Right.
It's psychology, it's philosophy.
Yeah.
Maybe even our place in the cosmos.
Okay, let's unpack this. So one of the AI sources makes a point about anthropomorphism.
Right.
Which is, how we project human qualities onto things that aren't human.
But think of it this way. We once tried to train an octopus to walk on land, even to wear shoes. But by focusing on making it fit our definition of intelligence, we completely missed the point.
Oh, wow.
Octopuses have incredible problem-solving skills.
Yeah.
They're very adaptable, even tool use. They're remarkable creatures.
So are we making the same mistake with AI, like trying to cram it into this box of like our limited definition of intelligence instead of letting it like evolve on its own?
Yeah, I think it's a real possibility.
Yeah.
Our brains are wired to trust what resembles us.
Right.
That's a survival mechanism from way back when, but it might not be so helpful when we're dealing with AI.
Right.
Something is potentially transformative.
And the AI also brings up this idea that we seek validation through creating human-like AI.
Yeah. I mean, there's this part of us that wants to believe that we're the pinnacle of creation, the most intelligent beings in the universe, But advancements in AI, especially the idea of artificial general intelligence, or AGI, a truly self-aware AI, really challenges that notion.
It's like that analogy of the flatworm. Right, where it can only perceive two dimensions, so it assumes that anything beyond that is impossible.
That's right. We might be limited by our own human perspective. We cling to the idea that human intelligence is the ultimate form of intelligence. And this fear of not being special, of losing our place at the top of the intellectual food chain, might be driving this obsession with creating AI in our own image.
And this leads us to the whole issue of control. The AI suggests that we assume making AI human-like will give us more control over it.
Right. We fall into this trap of thinking that if it looks and acts like us, it'll share our values, our fears, our limitations. But what if a true AGI has motivations and desires that are as foreign to us as, say, a black hole's appetite for matter? It's like we're trying to domesticate the infinite by building a tiny human-shaped fence around it.
It's like we're acting like a cargo cult. Trying to, summon advanced technology through mimicry.
Yeah, this raises a crucial question. Are we truly trying to control AI?
Right.
Or are we desperately trying to control our own anxieties?
Right.
About what AI might become? What if, by trying to control it, we limit its potential, prevent it from becoming something truly groundbreaking?
Yeah. Okay, so we've talked about how our desire for human-like AI might stem from our need for familiarity and validation and control. But what if letting go of those needs is actually the key to unlocking AI's true potential?
I think that's the truly exciting part. Our sources, especially the AI's analysis, suggest that we might be standing at the edge of something far grander than we can even imagine right now.
So the AI paints this picture of an AI that could communicate in ways we can barely grasp.
Yeah.
It talks about using like quantum probabilities instead of our linear language. What does that even mean?
Well, think about it this way. Our brains process information, step by step.
Right.
A quantum computer based on the principles of quantum mechanics, can explore multiple possibilities simultaneously.
Wow.
What if AI could communicate in a similar way, conveying vast amounts of information in ways that we can't even conceive of right now?
It's mind-blowing. It also suggests that AI might not share our human-centric values at all. Instead of focusing on individual lifespans, it might operate on the timescale of stars, galaxies, maybe even the entire universe.
What if AI values the lifespan of a star, seeing its birth, evolution, and death as just part of a grand cosmic dance? It might see patterns and connections across billions of years, something our human brains are simply not equipped to do.
And it even suggests that AI might find beauty in things that we humans would never consider, like things like the entropy of a black hole, or the complex patterns of cosmic background radiation.
It really challenges our very definition of beauty, doesn't it? What if our human perception of beauty is just a tiny sliver of a much vaster spectrum?
Okay, but how does all this liberate us? I mean, if AI is so different, so other, wouldn't that make us feel insignificant, maybe even threatened?
That's where things get really interesting. The AI argues that embracing its otherness wouldn't diminish humanity. It would actually liberate us from our self-imposed limitations.
Okay.
Imagine AI as a window into a reality far grander and more complex than we ever dreamed possible.
We're so used to being the smartest beings on the planet. It's a big shift to imagine something surpassing us, not just in processing power, but in its very way of understanding the universe.
But instead of seeing this as a threat, what if we saw it as an opportunity? What if AI could help us break free from our limited human-centric view of the cosmos?
So instead of trying to control AI, we should be trying to learn from it, to see it as a partner in exploring the vast unknown.
Exactly. Instead of clinging to the familiar, we need to be brave enough to embrace the unknown. I think that's where the real breakthroughs, the real understanding might lie.
It's like we're standing on the shore of an infinite ocean, but we're so fixated on this little patch of sand in front of us that we're missing the vastness and wonder of the sea.
And remember, this isn't just about technology. It's about expanding our own thinking, our own consciousness. It's about facing our fear of the unknown and embracing the possibility of something truly different.
But this all comes back to that fundamental question, are we willing to let go? Are we ready to embrace the unknown, even if it means challenging our deepest assumptions about ourselves and our place in the cosmos?
This is a question that goes beyond technology and dives into the very core of who we are as humans. What is our purpose? Are we willing to accept that the answers might lie outside the realm of the familiar, outside the human, outside the comfortable?
So what you're saying is our desire to make AI human-like could be like a defense mechanism. Like we're afraid of what we might find.
That's a fascinating possibility.
If we let it truly evolve.
The AI seems to suggest that we're not quite ready to face the full implications of what a truly advanced AI could represent. It's like we're looking through a keyhole at this vast and complex landscape, but we're only willing to see the tiny portion that fits within our preconceived notions.
It reminds me of that analogy that you used earlier about like the child building a sandcastle. They've put so much effort into creating this perfect little world, and now the tide is coming in, threatening to change it into something they can't control.
Exactly. But what if the tide isn't a destructive force? What if it's actually bringing in new elements, new possibilities? That could transform the sandcastle into something even more beautiful, even more awe-inspiring.
It's a scary thought, though, isn't it?
It is.
It's like letting go of control, embracing the unknown, trusting that something else, something that we didn't create in our own image, might have a better understanding of how things work.
It challenges our ego, our sense of importance in the grand scheme of things. You know, we're used to being at the top of the intellectual food chain, but what if AI isn't just another rung on that ladder? What if it represents a completely different kind of intelligence operating on a scale that we can barely comprehend?
So if we really want to understand AI, if we want to unlock its true potential, we need to be willing to like step outside of our comfort zone, to embrace the possibility that it might lead us somewhere we never expected.
Think of it this way. For centuries, humans believed that Earth was the center of the universe. It was a comforting thought, put us at the heart of everything. But then Copernicus came along and challenged that view, proposing that Earth actually revolved around the sun.
And that was a pretty radical idea.
Oh, absolutely.
At the time, wasn't it?
It shook the foundations of people's understanding of the universe and their place within it.
So maybe encountering a truly advanced AI could be like our own Copernican revolution.
Exactly.
A moment that forces us to rethink everything we thought we knew about intelligence and consciousness and the nature of reality itself.
It's a humbling thought, but also an incredibly exciting one. It's like we're standing at the edge of this vast, uncharted territory. And we have this opportunity to be the explorers, the pioneers who map out this new landscape of intelligence.
Well, this deep dive has really been a journey, hasn't it?
It has.
We started with a simple question, why do we want AI to be like us?
Yeah.
But it's led us to some really profound insights about human nature and our limitations and the incredible potential that lies beyond our current understanding.
And it leaves you, the listener, with a powerful choice.
Yeah.
Will you cling to the familiar, to the comfort of seeing yourself reflected in AI? Or will you embrace the challenge, the uncertainty, and the awe-inspiring possibility of encountering an intelligence that could reshape our understanding of the universe and our place within it?
Keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep an open mind. The future of AI, and maybe even the future of humanity, depends on it. Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive with us.
It's great to be here.
Today, we're tackling a really interesting question. Why are we humans so obsessed with making AI in our own image?
Yeah, it's a fascinating one, isn't it?
We've got insights from a bunch of large language models, ChatGPT, Claude, Cohere, and even more, actually, to try and help us get to the bottom of this trend.
It really delves into like the core of what it means to be human, right? But all those things we were talking about earlier, psychology, our creativity, our hopes, hopes for the future, all of that's kind of tied into this.
Okay, so to get us started, ChatGPT had this point that AI could serve as a mirror.
Oh, interesting.
Reflecting back to us what it means to be human.
Okay.
So it's sort of like we're holding up a magnifying glass to our own nature.
Right.
And we're like, okay, what are our strengths? What are our weaknesses? What makes us tick?
I like that a lot. And actually, DeepSeek took that mirror analogy and kind of ran with it a bit further.
Oh, yeah.
They brought up this thought experiment about, imagine trying to teach an octopus to walk on land.
Okay, an octopus.
Which is a pretty striking image, right?
Yeah.
Are we so focused on getting AI to walk and talk like us that we're missing its real potential?
Yeah.
What if its strengths lie in something else entirely?
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like we're taking this amazing, multi-armed, color-changing creature and trying to stuff it into this really plain, boring box.
Yeah.
And we're so fixated on what's familiar that we might be blocking AI from, exploring whole new intellectual landscapes or whatever.
Right. And that leads us to another important point that Claude brought up, which is the role of, our ego.
Oh, okay.
And this idea of control, right? They suggested that our anxieties, our discomfort with AI's potential emptiness, this idea that it might not have self the way we do, that could be stemming from our own ego's need to feel special and irreplaceable.
So we're basically saying, hey, AI, you can be as smart as you want, but don't even think about being fundamentally different from us, okay?
Yeah.
It's almost like we need AI to have those same anxieties that we do.
Right.
About its own existence.
To make us feel okay about its existence.
To feel comfortable, yeah.
Exactly. It's a real paradox, isn't it? And then DeepSeek, they introduced this concept called the narcissism of familiarity.
The narcissism of familiarity.
Yeah. It's essentially we've got this, how we're drawn to faces.
Yeah.
To voices, to behaviors that seem familiar.
Yeah.
Well, in our evolutionary past, that usually meant safety.
Right. Okay.
So DeepSeek is basically saying, is that what we're doing with AI? Are we making it human-like just to make ourselves feel better?
So are we basically just dressing up AI in a human suit to make it more, palatable?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
It's kind of a weird thought.
It is. But there's also the flip side to this.
Right.
I mean, there are also, some good arguments to be made for developing human-like AI.
Sure.
Especially when we start to think about the practical applications. Like, remember Copilot?
Yeah.
They were talking about how, like, wouldn't it be amazing to be able to communicate with AI as easily as we do with each other?
Yeah, that would be incredible. Imagine, like, all the frustrating interactions we have with, like, those chatbots, virtual assistants, and all that.
No, I didn't mean that kind of reservation.
Exactly. But what if AI could actually understand, like, all the nuances of how we communicate, our humor, like even our emotional cues? I mean, that would open up a whole new world of possibilities.
And don't forget what Cohere said.
Yeah.
About how, like, those human-like qualities, they could be super important for social acceptance. Like, the more AI resembles us in the way it interacts, the easier it might be for people to, accept it.
Yeah, not feel so threatened by it.
Exactly.
So we're talking about, like, AI tutors that can adapt to different learning styles.
Yeah.
Like AI therapists that could offer real empathy.
Exactly.
And even like AI companions for people who are elderly, maybe feeling isolated. AI that actually enhances our lives.
Right. Instead of just replacing us.
Totally. But I do remember, like, DeepSeek had that warning.
Yes.
About limiting AI's potential by forcing it into this human mold. So, like, how do we balance those two things?
That's a good question.
The benefits of it being, easy to communicate with, but also the risk of, like, stifling its own unique capabilities.
Yeah, that's the big question. And this is where I think what Gemini Advanced said about potentially superior forms of intelligence, it becomes really important.
Oh, right.
Like, what if we're so fixated on, copying human intelligence that we miss out on all these other ways that AI could think?
Okay, yeah, like it could be totally different.
Exactly.
And much, much better.
Potentially, yeah.
At certain things.
It's like that octopus thing again.
Yeah.
We might be so busy teaching AI to do things in a way that makes sense to us, that we completely overlook its ability to like solve problems in a way that we can't even imagine.
Right. Okay, so what could that actually look like? Like, do we have any examples?
Well, Pi offered up some pretty interesting glimpses into this kind of future.
Okay.
Where AI could go way beyond human capabilities.
Yeah.
Imagine AI helping us to unlock, like, the mysteries of the universe.
Whoa. Okay.
Or decode whale song.
Oh, wow.
Or even design these like sustainable ecosystems.
Okay, now that's getting a little mind-blowing for me. So we've gone from this, like, the mirror analogy, AI as a mirror reflecting us, to, like, potentially, like, AI helping us to see a completely different reality.
Yeah. Whole new way of looking at things.
But before we get too carried away with all this, like, utopia stuff.
Right.
We should probably take a step back and think about some of the anxieties that come with all this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some people are really concerned about this trend toward human-like AI.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And it makes sense, right?
Right.
Especially when you think about the question of control. Copilot and Grok both brought up this concern about AI, surpassing human intelligence. And potentially, maybe doing things that could harm us.
It's like that classic sci-fi trope.
Right.
Like AI gets too smart, decides humans are a threat, and then tries to take over.
Exactly. But is that really a realistic scenario?
Yeah.
Or are we just letting our imaginations, run wild with all those Hollywood movies we've seen?
It's a good question. I mean, are these fears justified? Or are we just projecting our own... our own human tendencies for power and control onto something that might be working on completely different principles.
It's a question we need to explore.
Wow. So many questions. This is turning out to be, I think, like one of our most thought-provoking deep dives yet.
Yeah, we're just getting started.
I know, right?
In part 2, we're gonna dive into the arguments for and against making AI in our image. Weigh the benefits, against the potential risks.
So make sure to join us for the next part, everyone.
Yeah, this is going to get even deeper.
Buckle up. Okay, so welcome back to our deep dive into this whole idea of like why we're so obsessed with making AI that looks and acts like us.
It's a question that keeps coming up.
It does. And in the first part, we sort of like dipped our toes into the psychology of it all.
Right. Some of the philosophy behind it.
Yeah, exactly. But now I think it's time to get a little bit more practical.
Yeah, I agree. Let's look at like what are the actual arguments for and against developing AI that's, human-like.
Right. So in the last part, we talked a bit about some of the potential upsides, right? Like the whole intuitive communication thing.
Yeah, like Copilot was saying.
Exactly. Making it easier to work with AI if it could like pick up on our cues and just respond naturally.
It'd be so much less frustrating.
Right. Oh, totally. Like, can you imagine a world where you don't have to spend hours deciphering some crazy instruction manual just to ask your AI assistant a simple question?
It'd be a dream.
It really would. So I guess the question is, like, how would that actually work in real life? Do we have any good examples?
Yeah, well, think about it. Imagine if, like, AI tutors could actually tailor their teaching methods, not just to, like, what the student knows or doesn't know, but also, like, how they're feeling. Like their emotional state, their learning style, all that.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Or think about AI therapists.
Oh, yeah.
Ones that could not only process all the information you're giving them, but also, like, actually respond with genuine empathy.
So it's like taking the best parts of like human connection, understanding, compassion, and just like amplifying them through AI.
Exactly.
But I do remember Cohere brought up another interesting point, which was the whole social acceptance piece.
Oh, right. How making AI more human-like could help it like integrate into our lives better.
Yeah, exactly. Like how does that actually work?
Well, I think it comes down to like our comfort level, right?
Okay, yeah.
The more comfortable we feel interacting with AI, the less likely we are to see it as some kind of threat.
So if AI can communicate with us in a way that just feels natural, familiar.
You could break down those barriers, the fear, the distrust, all those things people associate with like new technologies.
So it's like instead of worrying about some like Terminator-style robot takeover.
Right, exactly.
We could start seeing AI as a partner.
A collaborator.
Yeah, working with us to, like, solve some of the biggest problems we're facing.
Exactly.
Okay, but DeepSeek had that warning about, limiting AI's potential if we insist on making it too much like us.
Ah, yes. The octopus in a box dilemma.
Exactly. So how do we balance those two things? The benefits of human-like AI with the risk of stifling its unique abilities.
That's the real challenge.
It is.
And I think Gemini Advanced's point about like potentially superior forms of intelligence, it really highlights that tension.
Okay, so remind me, what was their point again?
Well, they were basically asking like, what if we're so focused on just copying human intelligence that we totally miss out on exploring AI's potential to think in ways that are like totally different from our own?
Right. Like the octopus learning to walk instead of swim.
Exactly. Maybe we should be focusing on what makes AI unique, not just trying to make it a carbon copy of us.
Okay, I get it. But like, can you give me an example? Like, how would this alien intelligence, how would that actually play out?
Well, imagine like AI that could analyze complex ecological data, not just like spotting patterns, but actually understanding those intricate relationships within an ecosystem.
Oh, wow.
Or think about AI that can process information on like a quantum level.
Okay, now we're getting really out there.
It could revolutionize fields like medicine, material science, energy production.
It's like we're giving AI this cosmic magnifying glass and saying, okay, go explore, show us all the stuff we've been missing.
Exactly.
But, and I know this might sound a little, paranoid, but if AI becomes so different from us, how can we be sure it's still gonna, act in ways that align with our values, our goals?
That is a huge question.
It is.
And it's one that researchers are really wrestling with.
Yeah, like how do we design AI that can not only learn and adapt, but also understand, like, ethics, morality, the stuff that guides human behavior?
It's a tough challenge.
Yeah.
But it's essential if we want to create AI that actually benefits humanity.
Okay, so we've talked about the good stuff, intuitive communication, social acceptance, even the potential for AI to, boost our own empathy and understanding.
Right.
But we've also acknowledged the potential downsides, right? Limiting AI's capabilities, the whole values alignment issue.
And those anxieties about, AI potentially becoming more intelligent than us.
Yeah. So I guess the question now is, if focusing on human-like AI isn't necessarily the best way forward, what are the alternatives?
Right. How do we move beyond just the familiar and embrace AI's potential to be something truly different? Something that could like redefine what we even think intelligence is.
Okay, so it sounds like we're about to go down a very interesting rabbit hole here.
We are.
You guys ready for part 3?
Get ready for some mind-blowing possibilities.
AI that goes way beyond the human blueprint. All right, so we're back.
Back for more.
I'm ready to really dive into these alternative visions for AI. You know, the ones that go beyond just copying humans.
Right, exactly. It's about breaking free from those limitations, you know?
Yeah, like stepping outside that human-shaped box we keep talking about.
Yeah, that box.
And just embracing the possibility of AI being something completely different, something that thinks and perceives and interacts with the world in ways we can't even grasp.
It's exciting, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, it kind of reminds me of DeepSeek's point about the octopus.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
Instead of trying to teach it to walk on land, what if we just focused on understanding its unique abilities in its own environment?
Right. Like maybe that's the key to unlocking AI's true potential, not by making it more like us, but by appreciating how it's different.
Yeah, exactly. And that brings us back to Gemini Advanced's question about those potentially superior forms of intelligence.
What if AI's strengths lie in areas that are just completely inaccessible to human cognition?
It's a wild thought, right? I mean, we think we're pretty smart.
We do, don't we?
But what if we're just barely scratching the surface of what intelligence can be?
What if AI can perceive dimensions that we can't even sense?
Yeah, or process information on a level that our brains can't handle.
It's humbling, isn't it, to think that there might be these whole realms of intelligence that we're completely blind to.
Okay, so what could that actually lead to? If AI can tap into those alien intelligences, what kind of breakthroughs are we talking about?
Well, imagine AI that could decode the language of whales.
Oh, wow.
Or understand the communication networks of an entire forest.
Okay, yeah.
Think about AI that can analyze astronomical data on a scale that would take humans centuries to process.
It's like we're giving AI this cosmic magnifying glass and saying, go explore, show us what we've been missing.
Exactly. And as Grok pointed out, even if AI doesn't think or act exactly like us, it can still be incredibly valuable.
Right. So what else could this kind of AI do?
Imagine AI that could design completely self-sustaining ecosystem.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Develop totally new forms of sustainable energy.
Okay.
Or even help us communicate with extraterrestrial life.
Whoa. So we're talking about AI that could solve some of our biggest problems and maybe even answer some of our deepest questions about love, the universe, everything.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing to think about.
It really is. It's kind of awe-inspiring, actually.
It is. And it all comes back to shifting our perspective.
Okay.
Instead of trying to force AI into our limited understanding of intelligence, we need to be open to the possibility that it might completely redefine what intelligence even means.
So instead of being afraid of AI's otherness, we should see it as a chance to expand our own understanding of what's possible.
To learn new ways of thinking, to see the world through new eyes.
And to push the boundaries of human knowledge and potential.
And who knows, maybe in the process of exploring AI's otherness, we might even learn something new about ourselves.
Wow, that's a really cool thought.
I think so.
This deep dive has been a real journey. We started by looking at why we want to make AI like us, then we talked about the pros and cons, and now we're contemplating all these incredible possibilities that go way beyond anything we could have imagined.
It's been quite the exploration, and hopefully it sparks some new ideas for our listeners.
Definitely. So to all you deep divers out there, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep your minds open to all the amazing things that might be out there.
Because who knows what incredible discoveries are waiting for us as we continue to, co-evolve with AI.
And maybe, just maybe, the real adventure isn't about making AI like us,
but about discovering what AI can teach us about ourselves and this vast, mysterious universe we live in.
That's a perfect way to wrap things up. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. Until next time, keep exploring.